So as you guys know, we are getting towards the end of the second weekend of the Black Ops Cold War beta. Now, they did extend it a day, so it's going to go all the way until Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when it's going to end, but we are moving towards the end of it. And just like the end of the first weekend, I wanted to give my feedback on the Black Ops Cold War beta. And what I will say is my experience in the second weekend compared to the first weekend is so much better. In the first weekend, I was lagging and the game was basically so broken that it was hard for me to give any feedback on individual things in the game because of how bad that lag actually was. It seemed like every gunfight I got into, there was ghost bullets and things along those lines. Now, that's not 100% fixed. I found that maybe 1 in 10 games I would get into, I would still have that same lag, or halfway through a game, I would start having ghost bullets and I would just literally be shooting through people. So I still think there needs to be a little bit of work on that connection, especially in Fireteam. We're going to talk about that later. But it was substantially better in this weekend's beta. So big ups to Treyarch for fixing that. That being said, though, I still have some issues, much smaller issues with the beta that I would love to see fixed before the launch of the game. Now, I will start this video by saying I really enjoyed this weekend of the beta. I had much more fun playing multiplayer just this weekend than most of the year for Modern Warfare for many different reasons. And I'm going to have a video closer to the launch of Black Ops Cold War giving my overall thoughts on Modern Warfare. But I will say, really enjoying Black Ops Cold War. And now I'm just excited for the actual launch of the game. But as I said before, I have some issues, and that is what we need to dive into next. So if you were around for last weekend of the beta, you know that I created something called the list of shit. This was the things that I didn't like about the game that I would like to see fixed, and a lot of these were addressed. But moving into the second weekend, we always need to improve. So this weekend, we made the list of shit 2.0 that we're going to be going over in this video. It has a lot of things that are more specific to the game than, let's say, last weekend, but there is a couple of general ones. And for the most part, these general ones are actually the ones that I'd like to focus on a little bit more because, in my opinion, those are the bigger problems. First of all, this game is still breaking my controller. I would say it's better than last weekend, less frequent, but I would say 1 in 20 games, I'll just start up the game, and as soon as I go to select my class, my controller just will not work, and then the light on it will start flashing, and then I have to literally unplug my PS4 and plug it back in to get it to work again. I don't know why it does this. I just want it to stop. It's really annoying. It's not the hugest deal. It doesn't break the game, but it does break my controller. So I would love for that to stop. I'm sure some of you are having it too. I can't be the only one. Now, the next one is probably the biggest one, and this is the one that I think will improve the game the most, and that is player visibility. And actually, Exclusive Ace made a video on this yesterday, and he did a very good job talking about it, giving examples of when you can barely see players, especially on Satellite was the one that I saw most frequently, right in the middle by the B flag there. This is one that needs to be fixed, and this is something that was a problem in Modern Warfare as well, especially in like those dark rooms. But in this game, someone could be standing out in the open, but if they're in shade, you just can't see them. And this is something that, if fixed, I think will make the game a lot better. There's a lot of gunfights that I get into where I'm just like, where was that person? So player visibility is definitely a big one. I personally don't know the way to fix this one. Maybe illuminating the players a little bit more, making the colors on the player models pop a little bit more off the background environments. But other than that, I don't really know. I'm not a game developer. It's just something that I've noticed game after game after game. The next one, and this is a big one, Activision, you really need to listen to this one. Hackers. There are already hackers in the beta, which means there are gonna be hackers right at launch of the game, and that is just not okay. For a AAA game title, you need some sort of anti-cheat, and yes, this is mostly players who are playing on PC. There needs to be something incorporated here because this is game breaking, especially when we get into Warzone and things like that. People are just fed up with it. It needs to stop. The next thing is aim assist. So this is something I've seen a lot of people complain about. I only have a complaint about it in one specific situation, and that is at really extremely close gunfights. Like if you're walking through a doorway and an enemy walks through the doorway at the same time, I just don't have any aim assist when this happens. Sometimes it even locks on to something that isn't the player. And I don't know what this is. It's rather annoying. I know other people have had this problem as well. But I do think that the aim assist needs a little bit of work. Again, I'm not a game developer, so I don't actually know what's wrong there, but the situation where I notice it the most is when I'm literally right up against a player. That is the biggest situation where I realize it. After this, snipers. Now, this is an interesting one because I hear people on both sides of this argument. Some people say snipers are OP, others are saying they suck, you get way too many hit markers, and I think that there's a solution for this that fixes both problems. First of all, snipers need flinch, period. I will stand on that post till the day I die. Snipers need some sort of flinch, because if I'm shooting at you and you have a sniper and I hit 3 bullets and then you can just aim down sights, the bullets that I'm hitting you with don't matter because you can just aim perfectly fine, take 1 shot and then kill me, that is a problem. Now, I would be totally okay with if they added sniper flinch and made it so that the area where you shoot someone and got a 1-shot kill was a little bit bigger. Therefore, you'd have less hit markers and it would take more skill to be a sniper. I'm completely okay with that solution. I just think that the quick scoping in this game is absolutely insane, and I think if you leave this long term, players are going to get way too good at sniping. Next thing, chopper gunner. So, this clip here is on Cartel. I get a chopper gunner, and I think I literally get 40 kills while in the chopper gunner. Now, I'm not saying that the chopper gunner is OP, even though it might be a little bit. I'm actually okay that the chopper gunner is OP. Also, the enemy team can shoot it down pretty quickly. If you have a good team of players, you can shoot it down really fast. But I think the score to earn this is a little bit low. They reduced it to 5,000 for this weekend of the beta. It's possible that they were just doing that so more people could get their hands on it. I don't think that's the right number. I was frequently getting 2 chopper gunners a game, and I think that's a little bit overpowered. I think 6,000 or 6,500 for a chopper gunner is the right amount. Now, speaking of score streaks, the attack helo. The attack helo, I believe, costs 4,000 score, which is 1,000 less than the chopper gunner, and it sucks. So either make the attack chopper better or make the score to earn the attack chopper less. It's first of all really easy to shoot down if you're using launchers, and on top of that, it gets me like 1, maybe 2 kills. Literally, an artillery strike is better than it. Speaking of artillery strikes, artillery is one of my biggest complaints right now with Black Ops Cold War. If someone on the enemy team calls it in, I'm dead. I am dead. There is nothing I can do. There is no way to counter it. If you're using flak jacket, you still die. There is no avoiding it. And the reason for that is because when someone calls it in, it doesn't show you on the mini-map like a Predator missile where it's being called in. So you can't run in the opposite direction to actually avoid it. Now, napalm is the same way, but napalm isn't as good. So artillery, I think it's good. The amount of power it has is good. There just needs to be a warning when it's coming in your direction. That would basically take everything that I'm saying and fix it. So that would be, I think, an easy fix for them to do. Moving into some more specific map stuff, Crossroads and Armada. They are 2 of the combined arms map, the 12v12 maps, and in Domination, the spawns suck. That you spawn so far back in your spawn, or if you're on Armada, you spawn on the back boat, you have to run for 15 seconds before you get in a gunfight, and it just slows down the game. And I thought, originally, I just didn't like these maps. These are maps that aren't my friend. But after playing Combined Arms Assault, the war game mode, if you want to call it that, and you spawn closer to that middle flag, I liked both of these maps. In fact, I really enjoyed playing on both of these maps. And what this told me is it's not the maps that I don't like, it's I don't like spawning in and having to run a mile before getting into a gunfight. This is something I think they could fix. They have to be careful with it with spawn traps and spawns flipping and things like that. But I think I would enjoy playing Combined Arms a lot more if they fix those things. Speaking of which, I still think tanks are too overpowered. The fact that it's a one-hit kill, even if I'm wearing flak jacket almost 100% of the time, I'd love to see that fixed. And yeah, the next thing is the other map in Combined Arms is Cartel. I think this map is fantastic in 12v12. I think it's really fast-paced, really good. You get a lot of kills on it. The one problem I have is simple. The bushes in the middle of the map, they need to be lowered. They need to make it so that you can actually see people who are running through them. I think it's a silly concept to have just basically the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter just sitting in the middle of the map. It's just get rid of him, lower them, make it so I can see people in those things. And then finally, Fireteam Dirty Bomb. There's two things that I think need to be fixed in Fireteam Dirty Bomb. They've already kind of done one of them, but the first one is the lag. I lag almost every single time I play this. Aim assist doesn't work. It feels like the beta did last weekend. Sometimes I literally am getting like 1 frame per second. Looks like I'm playing on a flip book. They have addressed this and they said that they are working on fixing it. So that's good. At least they know this is the kind of thing that betas are for. So hopefully they get on board with that. After this, the vehicles in Fireteam Dirty Bomb. I would really enjoy Dirty Bomb a lot more if there were no vehicles in it. Like, I like the snowmobiles, I like the motorcycles, I like the vehicles that get you from point A to point B, but the tank, the chopper that you can get in, which is basically a top tier chopper gunner, if you get in one of those things, you're getting like 30 kills in that chopper, like easily, and that can literally win your team a game. So to me, that is one of those things that I think I would enjoy the game a lot more if they weren't there. The other thing I will say about Fireteam Dirty Bomb, I've only really enjoyed playing it with a team of friends. Now, that's not bad, I don't think. I don't think that's anything to complain about. If I want to play solo, I can just go play 6v6 or some other game mode. But I have miles, like 10 out of 10 fun when I'm playing with friends. It's like 2 out of 10 fun when playing with randoms. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just that way in all video games. But that's one thing that I've noticed. I'm curious if you guys agree with that one or not. One other thing I will say is I would love to see like a mini battle royale on these maps, where you spawn in, you get 1 life, you can loot, you can play with 4 other people. And basically it's like a 40-man battle royale. That's a quick game, maybe a 5-minute long battle royale. I think that would be a ton of fun on these maps. I don't know if they're going to do that because of all the Warzone stuff, but I personally would love it. So the other thing that I have to mention in this video is skill-based matchmaking. Now, it's almost impossible for me to tell to what extent skill-based matchmaking is there when I can't look at other players' stats or anything like that. Now, as you guys know, all my homies hate skill-based matchmaking, and that is my stance on it. That is where I will stand unless there is ranked play to the bitter end. And if the game comes out and there is strong skill-based matchmaking, I will speak out against it harshly then, but as for right now, we're just going to have to wait to see what they do with the final launch of the game. Personally, for me, it felt better this weekend than it did last weekend, but also was very difficult to tell because, like I said before, it's a beta. So we'll have to wait to see what they do with this one with the launch of the game, but as of right now, you know my stance on it, and you can let me know what you think down in the comments. So that is basically the list of shit 2.0. We've gone over everything here, relatively straightforward. But I did make another list. This one is the list of shit we want. It's much shorter and we'll go over it really quickly. Essentially, what this list actually is a list of things that aren't currently in the game that I would like to see added. So the first one is additional score streaks. So some of them that I'd like to see are, first of all, dogs. I think that would fit perfectly in the Cold War setting. I think I would really enjoy it on the map, and I've always loved dogs in the past in Call of Duty games, so I'd love to see that added. Also, advanced UAV, orbital VSAT, whatever you want to call it, the little Doritos on your map, I want them back. I think it would fit really, really well with the score streak system that they have currently and help people who are actually going for nukes and things like that. So I'd love to see that added. I would also love other things like the war machine. So like a death machine, something along those lines that if you use it, it gives you another gun that's really good and it actually adds to your score streak multiplier. I think they could do a lot of different things with this, kind of like, honestly, specialist weapons from previous Call of Duty games, previous Black Ops games, but essentially make them so that they add to your score streaks and are a score streak, which I think is a really cool idea. On top of this, the other thing that I think they could add is a Predator missile. Relatively simple. Just make it so it's a controlled missile that you can drive down to the ground and blow some people up. After this, I want to see more small 6v6 maps. The two of my favorite maps in the game are Satellite and Moscow. They just so happen to be the smallest maps in multiplayer. I would like to see more and more of these. I hope Treyarch knows that for the most part, people like the small maps in the game, the shoot houses, the shipments. That's why they're the most played maps. People just like small maps, so I'd like to see more of these. There are rumors that Nuketown is coming, but we'll talk about that in the future. The other thing is camos. I want to see good mastery camos and challenges. Treyarch normally does this really well. The mastery camos, whether that be dark matter or something else altogether, and then completionist challenges. I love the grind of Call of Duty, and that is the other thing that I want that they haven't talked about at all, so I'm sure it'll be there. It's just in the list of shit that I want in the game. So this is pretty much all that I have to say. Like I said at the beginning of the video, so much more fun playing the game this weekend than last weekend. I'm actually really looking forward to the game coming out now, getting my hands on it, grinding it, playing it, making videos for you guys. So let me know what you think at this point. What is on the list of shit that you want? What do you want to see improved in the game? What did I miss on my list? Let me know down in the comments. This is actually probably one of the most important videos for you to leave a comment on, because these are the things that I like to hear. What does the community want improved in Black Ops Cold War? Also, if you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. It's the best way to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the Call of Duty community. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard.